today, Lacey. I'm not just going to stand here. This is like a walk and talk vlog. But the cryptos, man, yesterday, that was crazy. Bitcoin went down to about 30,000 from like 40,000 in like a few hours. And a lot of the altcoins, like everything was down 50-60% yesterday. Here's the fear and greed index yesterday. Minus 14, now dead. And as I was saying, there were so many people on the internet saying how smart they were and how rich they are. In some ways, this is quite good. We really needed a bit of a washout, and we really got one. And here's crypto traders last week, and here's crypto traders this week. And part of what the FUD's been all about is China cracking down on cryptocurrencies again. It's like the 50th time they've done this. And I saw this from Michael Saylor. He says a crackdown on miners in China would radically reduce the carbon footprint of Bitcoin mining. Oh God. See, this is what happens when you get these normie institutional type people into the crypto space. All of a sudden, we need to reduce Bitcoin's carbon footprint. No, we don't, and I'll get into that in a second, but here's what he's got to say. Brainwashed, mind-controlled TV watcher. A crackdown on miners in China would radically reduce the carbon footprint, increase the profitability of all the remaining Bitcoin miners, reduce nagging China FUD, support progress toward our ESG goals, and drive up the value of Bitcoin. We should be so lucky. He mentions this ESG. I've heard it so many times in the last few months. I never really looked into it, so I finally looked into it. Apparently it's the environmental, social, and governance criteria. And apparently a lot of people, a lot of people are talking about this, like we got to be ESG compliant. Well, what? So it's environmental, social, and governance criteria. And this is from Investopedia. Environmental, social, and governance criteria are a set of standards for a company's operations that socially conscious investors use to screen potential investments. Environmental criteria consider how a company performs as a steward of nature. Social criteria examine how it manages relationships with employees, suppliers, customers, and the communities where it operates. Governance deals with a company's leadership, executive pay, audits, internal controls, and shareholder rights. Environmental criteria may include a company's energy use, waste, pollution, natural resource conservation, and a treatment of animals. The criteria can also be used in evaluating any environmental risks a company might face and how the company is managing those risks. For example, are there issues related to its ownership of contaminated land, its disposal of hazardous waste, its management of toxic emissions, or its compliance with government environmental regulations? Oh, the government regulations. So yeah, a lot of people talk about this like this is like, yeah, we all got to do this now. It's like the free market can handle all that stuff, but they want to just like get everyone, like we got to get everyone's carbon footprint down. No, we don't. Carbon's doing nothing. This has been proven so many times. Carbon's just part of life. We breathe out carbon dioxide. It's a joke. But you get a lot of these people just looking like total fools, or maybe they're insider type people. I don't know. I don't really know Michael Saylor. I don't think I've ever met him. And then crypto actually bounced today, because here's Michael Saylor's latest tweet. Yesterday, I was pleased to host a meeting between Elon Musk and the leading Bitcoin miners in North America. The miners have agreed to form the Bitcoin Mining Council to promote energy usage transparency and accelerate sustainability initiatives worldwide. Then Elon Musk said, spoke with North American Bitcoin miners. They committed to publish current and planned renewable usage and to ask miners to do so, potentially promising. And I think that's what made crypto really bounce today. And, you know, on the whole, like, environmental sort of a thing, I want this world to be as beautiful as possible. I want it to be, like, nature perfect and pristine. Like, even if I was, like, we're trying to build a ranch right now, and I'm like, don't cut down any trees. Like, make sure you don't, like, do anything bad. In fact, the architectural plan for it is amazing. It's going to put in, like, a lake and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to improve the beauty of the nature, basically. So I'm all for that, but this whole idea that, you know, governments and everyone's got to be so focused on forcing companies to do certain things, that's a bad way to go. And, you know, that's been a huge thing. They're really attacking the Bitcoin on that. I'm going to get into that. Before I get into that, Huobi stops crypto miner hosting in China. CoinDesk says Huobi has stopped its miner hosting services on mainland China and is scaling back services and products in some markets following warnings from the Chinese government that it would crack down on cryptocurrency mining. They've been saying this for a while, but they're really like hammering it now. Like, we gotta, Bitcoin uses too much energy. And well, here's Newspeak, which has died a few times. It keeps coming back. Like, it's like a zombie, you can't kill it. Total propaganda outlet, just like Slime and the New York Times and all that kind of crap. Here's from 2017, one of their typical global warming predictions that hasn't even come close to being true. Bitcoin mining on track to consume all of the world's energy by 2020, according to estimates by experts. I don't know, have you noticed? Do you have like no lights in your house because Bitcoin's using it all? No, nothing's really going on. I'm going to get into that. Actually, here's a great article. If you're interested in this stuff, this article is really good. I'll have a link to it down below. It's on medium.com. It's called On Bitcoin's Energy Consumption, a Quantitative Approach to a Subjective Question. And they just looked at all the things involved with the current banking system compared to, say, Bitcoin. And that even includes like all the trucks that go to load up the ATMs and people driving to the bank to take out money and all that kind of stuff. Even though they're trying to get rid of a lot of that stuff, or even just the banking, every city's got this huge skyscraper, all the energy they use, and not to mention what the government and the military, the Department of Defense uses. But they're just talking about just the banking network and how much energy they use, and they actually go really in depth on that article. So if you're interested in that stuff, check it out. But here's a chart: estimated annual energy consumption. Banking system, about, I don't know what that is. 250 terawatt hours per year. The gold mining industry, about 200, a little under 250. And then Bitcoin around 100. Yeah, so that's, why don't we shut down the banking industry? And even if Bitcoin used a lot of energy, so what? That's what the market wants. That's how it should always be. And if the market decided they didn't want that, they would stop using it. If everyone had no energy because of Bitcoin, they'd be like, I'm not going to use Bitcoin anymore because I want to have lights in my house. But it's just nonstop propaganda. They never stop. It's really Groundhog's Day for propaganda for like decades now.